So, do you have any preferences to which replays we go through in which order?
Nope, I don't mind. Whatever order.
Okay.
I mean, you can do the D.Va one last because you said D.Va's like your worst character, so.
I think I made some notes. Yeah.
I claim this objective.
I feel like at the start of this fight, kind of just not doing anything.
Yeah.
He's kind of looking around. I mean, the bubbles seem pretty much fine. He could have bubbled you Junkrat before he died, but that's just unlucky, I guess. I'm pretty happy with how that went, I think. Nice bubble into the Lucio there. He could have zapped down the Mercy a bit to try to deny the res, but that's whatever. Oh, I'll take the screenshot as well. Forgot about that. 1 sec.
In this game, our Lucio was like popping off.
Cool. This aggression is fine. Yeah. Here I probably wouldn't go high ground. I mean, it's fair.
Up there.
It's fair, but you see they're on the low ground and you're already low energy, so there's not much point playing high ground.
Okay.
Because they dive you now that your personal's down. F.
Yeah, this might have been the D.Va one.
Oh. Oh.
I mean, it's not very long anyway. Yeah, our Lucio killed like 3 of them there.
Nice. I'd use missiles on the bubble then. No reason not to, I guess. Whoops. You also tend to like to DM Zaryas, which is a bad idea because Zarya is not affected by DM, they can just hold M1.
Yeah. I was trying to eat her graph out. Half graph.
Fair enough.
I went into dive there.
God, what is... Okay. A DM onto the Heinen is fine. I think when you're trying to 1v1 somebody as well, you need to get closer. So you can get up in their face and use missiles. You could have used missiles there and killed them quicker, but it's whatever. You should also not missiles at bubbling Zarya, but that's whatever.
I'm blind. There's like a McCree right behind me.
Okay, so first of all, you shouldn't just use your DM and hope that your Zarya, hope that the Zarya grabs into it, right? Because they won't. I mean, they don't even have it here, but like, you hold up your DM for the entire time that you're looking at this area, and that's not good. Because now you're out of DM, and they got some free ult charge on you because Zarya kind of counters D.Va in everything apart from ultimates. Most D.Vas will try to react to a Zarya's playstyle, like if a Zarya is playing extra aggressively for some reason, or their aim suddenly changes, then that's usually like a tip off as to they're going to grab. Because if you just hold up your DM hoping that they'll slip up and grab you, then they just won't, and they'll get some free ult charge and you'll get low. So that isn't good.
Okay.
Also, I don't know. I'd probably wait for the next, what are they called? Jets? Fly things? Shift ability?
Yeah.
Just try and get your bomb up in the air, rather than just use it when you get out of mech.
Okay.
Because you're only one down at the time. You just drop bomb on the ground and they hit behind the point.
Yeah.
Bubble play is fine. Again, you're shooting with Zarya a bit too much when she hits bubble. You should chase that with your shift. There you go. You need to use missiles to try and get extra burst damage against people, especially in a 1v1. See, I don't think... Yeah, you don't use missiles enough.
Okay.
Plus, she's probably...
The
Yeah,
McCree Hymen went through both of our matrices.
you should play closer to people as well if you want to try and burn them down. Because you're playing a little too far back.
Okay.
And D.Va's pretty close range. I mean, her guns are like shotguns.
Yeah. My reaction time.
I mean, you can even missiles a Ryan's shield if it helps. This is a better bomb. Yana gets a lucky sleep dart into the Ryan when he turns around.
I didn't even see the seat turn.
That's a good high ground take. Did you know the soldier was there? Probably not.
I don't think I did.
But again, you should use...
Green.
You need to use... you need to use your missiles. Because a soldier could have AD spammed and used his heal station and kind of just like postponed that fight. This guy didn't for some reason. But you gotta use these, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you kill him fine, but like... Well, you know. I mean, that was a nice range thing. Like, you get a lot closer to him than you did with some of the other people you tried to 1v1 earlier. But Soldier has the ability to kind of annoy D.Va and really delay a 1v1. Or draw it out or whatever.
I could have used a little more time to get ready. Let's get to work.
So that's good. Pushing up into the Genji there. That's the kind of thing you should be doing against everybody who goes out of position. Because you're
Okay.
really good at killing squishies who are out of position or on a flank or something. Or an off angle.
I don't even know what I'm doing there.
Do you not hear them under you?
I don't think I heard them.
Okay. Well, if I were you, I'd either push to this corner and see if they're going up through the stairs or on the flank.
Okay.
Hopefully your Ash should be giving you intel anyway.
Yeah,
But
actually,
you should
never
be,
mind.
because you should be doing something, not just standing there. So you can just get back and look down here and see that they're going this way.
Mhm.
Rather than just standing still and not doing anything.
I don't know why the McCree didn't go back.
That was a nice engage, but again you should have used missiles to finish him off. Well, yeah, why does that keep up?
Yeah.
Oh. Also, you can throw in melees to deal more burst damage,
Okay.
just like with the Wrecking Ball.
Yes. Where? What? Okay, bye bye.
That missiles is good.
Thank you.
Were you making comments here, or are you just looking at your mana?
I think I was. I probably said I want nano or something.
You should fly up to the McCree though. You can
I was a bit late.
you can DM around a corner as
Oh,
long as it's within the, like.
wait, so if I was DMing, that would have worked?
So if you just DM'd in this direction, then he would have shot this way. Or you shot the Ash. So if you DM'd like in this cone, that's like in this cone, then it would have been cancelled. Even though you're not looking at him, if you aimed up here, it still would have been. Especially if you're there, because that's much easier to just DM like that, and then he has to shoot this way. Just because you can't see somebody doesn't mean you can't DM them.
Okay.
You just have to get their projectiles at some point along the path that they take. So again, you're not really like one thing you could do is you could go to the high ground over here, just where that Ash was earlier, because I mean you can fly, so it's not that big of a problem.
Yeah.
Or you can just walk down here and see where they are out the window, and then if you can't see them from either of those places, then you can assume that they're coming under. But you should be seeing where they're coming from, not just
Okay.
standing around. Maybe trying to get some poke damage in to get some ult charge. Don't just Don't just do nothing between fights. This poke into the Sombra's fine, I think. That was bad coordination with the monkey. If he was a better monkey, he would have booped them into the bomb instead of away from the bomb, but...
I just tried to hold
can
him
you
to get
do?
the Reinhardt away from the shatter.
Yeah, that's fine. See there, you should push up, you should use missiles.
The
You
missile.
did get him killed anyway, but you could have done it faster. And you probably wouldn't have lost your mech.
Just at 10 health this entire time.
Nice game. Cool.
We kind of rolled that game.
Yeah, it was a good game.
I think this might have been Zarya. Yeah.
Mhm.
The Reinhardt game was the one with you.
I don't know which one that is.
It was the one that we drawed on Hanamura because our Mei jumped off the map.
Ah, cool. Oh yeah, okay. I made some notes because I watched most of the replays before the session started. Here, were you like alt tabbed or something? Because you're just not doing anything.
I don't know.
You should play in the front here. Play. Okay, play in front of your Sigma. You should play just on the corner, right? Because there's this like between the point and between this this wall, right? You should play it just there.
Okay.
Because that way, you can push forward a tiny bit. You can use your personal. You can get 40 energy, and you can draw back. Right? Easy 40 energy, easy poke damage. Plus, they have a diva, so that you counter the tank line pretty easily. But at the moment, you just alt tabbed and not doing anything. Even here, you should. Well, I don't know what you do, but you should definitely push it. Yeah, cool. Like I would go all the way in, right, into their Ryan, because, and then I'd aggressively personal, right, because one of two things happen, right? They give you 40 energy, and then you back off, or they don't do anything, and then you back off.
Okay.
Like, I'd get right up in this Ryan's face, I'd force him to get back, I'd force him to swing at me. Why not, right? Like that. That wasn't bad. You could have kept on good. Why did your bubble go down so fast? I think you might have used it a bit too early.
Okay.
When did you use it? Ah, okay. So you use it right as he passes the shield, which is probably a tiny bit too early. You can probably just like walk into the Ryan, and then as soon as he drops his shield and starts to swing, then you can use personal, and
Okay.
then you'll get a bit more energy. I mean, 27 is not bad, especially for a start of fight bubble, but it could be better. That's an unlucky team shield.
Yeah,
Let's just
and that's the
aim, I
bubble.
guess, practice. Also here, did you hear what the Ryan was just doing?
The
How
pain.
loud? How loud is your game? Yes, because you kind of walk into it, and it's not what you want.
I think I meant to bubble that, but I don't think.
Fair enough. That's another fine team shield. Your Genji's just kind of playing too passive when he has bubbles. You can coordinate with.
Like, he got like 3 blades before Ana got
Yeah.
nano.
You can coordinate with your team and say, hey, you can just, even if it's just like bubbled you Genji, push in. Because you see what he did, he deflected and then he instinctively ran away because he didn't have deflect without knowing that you bubbled him, so you didn't get any energy from that. That was an unnecessary team bubble, because not only is the Sigma playing back, but yeah, it's not a good idea, like, because you can coordinate. It's a very good idea to try and coordinate with your team as a Zarya player as to when and how and who to bubble. Like this Genji, wow, should have been saying, "Hey, I'm going in. Can you bubble me?" Instead of blading on his own, getting slept, and immediately dying. That was too early. Um,
I'm kind of off the map there.
yeah. Good Reinhardts will generally always try and extend a charge so that your bubble goes down by the time you hit a wall or whatever. So that I'd shoot down the Diva a bit, why not? Because she's on the high ground and you can counter that pretty easily. Yeah, I think you just need to play more aggressive with these bubbles. Like, they seem fine, but you're just not committing enough. Because you're only getting like half energy from each one and barely energy from team shields. So you need to play more aggressive whenever you use bubble, I think.
Okay.
That team bubble was a bit random and unnecessary again. You seem to be using team shields a bit too much off cooldown, just as soon as you get them. Like, okay, a general philosophy, right, is to never use bubbles only for energy, right? You should use them to enable your teammates or to save them from dying or something, but you shouldn't just use it to get 40 energy.
Okay.
And again, that links into the coordination thing because you can enable your team by like bubbling your Ryan and then he pushes in and takes damage, which gives you energy, and or like with that Genji blade earlier. That would have enabled him and you would have gotten the energy as a nice added bonus. But like some of these you've just been using randomly on a sleeping Bob in the corner hoping that somebody would shoot him. That bubble was fine. I like that. When did you get personal back? That team shield is good. Ah, you didn't have it back. Alright, it's not a problem. That bubble was fine. Nice kill under the Genji. There again, you should have played more aggressive. That was an unlucky Sigma shield, to be honest. See, that was some nice aggression. You should have played more aggressively before you used the bubble, but that's whatever. Also, in this situation, where's the rest of his team? Okay. I would generally try to avoid just shooting shields. Again, if your team was more coordinated, I might be able to say Genji Diva behind, because you counter Genji and Diva, right? Because Deflect and DM don't do anything against you. Like, if you shoot the Rhine shield, then you go through 2000 HP and then 500 HP, right? So what you should be doing is instead turning around and either at least peeling. What is this? Wow. At least peeling, if not just trying to shoot them down as well with your team, because I mean you can basically ignore this Rhine. He's half HP, he's not gonna hard commit onto anybody. And even if he gets healed back up, 2 of his team are still over here, so it's not gonna matter that much. Those bubbles are good, I'd probably try and grab that.
Yeah, especially because Genji ulted.
That was a nice team shield against some micro missiles. Micro missiles can get you a lot of energy. Here is just kind of, I guess, target awareness. Like in the back of your mind, you should try and, as much as you can, have an idea of where everybody on the enemy team is. Like this Genji just kind of dashes past you and you just ignore his existence. So, you see the Genji, you shoot the Genji, and then he's above you, and he dashes behind you, and then you just, Like if I were you, I would just immediately turn around at that point, right? Because I know the Genji's somewhere behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably shoot him down. Because he's like, well, the only one on point.
Let me get you patched up.
Oh, wait. You shouldn't really be the one on point.
I
You need to
know.
conserve your energy and try to get poke damage in, but what can you do? That diva should die. Unlucky. I'd play aggressive here and use personal. Also, you can use bubbles to negate a diva bomb. I don't know if that was what you were trying to do, but
I thought I was gonna get hit by the Deep Bomb. But I I was behind the 6
you
shield.
personal though.
Yeah, I tried getting hit by it. My first.
Yeah, I think you're behind the shield. That's whatever. I mean, the Doom gives you 40 energy anyway, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Here I might try to grab. Yeah, cool. Okay, this is a fine graph because you know the diva isn't looking at you. But if the diva was looking at you, or if you think they know that you're there, and if they think that you know that they have, if you think they know you have grav, then you should play more passive. I'm gonna talk about some mind games later on about how you can try and maximize your chances of not getting a grav eaten. But that was pretty okay because the diva wasn't paying attention to you. That's a nice bubble into the Sigma. Sigma is very, what's the word, vulnerable during his ult. Like, he gets slept, so you could have probably bubbled him later, but the fact that you bubbled him at all was pretty okay. It was just an unlucky sleep.
Mercy's damage received with Genji when I'm at 50 health.
That personal was unnecessary. Again, you shouldn't really be the one on point, but because you're low energy, it doesn't really matter that much.
I wanted our Ana to just be on point.
Heroes never die.
Nice bubble on the Genji.
I'm always stuck on point duty. Also, this game is very long. And we lost it in the 4th round.
They're out of grav on the right side. Why not? The diva isn't back with them. Yeah, all this. That reminds me. No. Well, I mean, if there was a diva there, then that would be not a good idea. Okay. I went a bit too far backwards. Just walking in, looking at the ground, is a big, I don't know, tip-off to diva players that you're about to grab, right? Because you're not acting normally. You just, it looks like you've DC'd basically. You're just walking in a straight line. You're looking at the ground. You're not shooting anybody. And then you just grab the floor. Like, it's a fine grab. You get 2 in it. But if there was a diva there, and it was maybe probably a higher SR game, it should get eaten. Like, with a Zarya, you should be zapping down like normal, and then just suddenly, like, flick or grab just and like incorporate it into the rest of your play. You shouldn't stop what you're doing to set up a grab. You should try and play as normally as possible to not let the enemy think that you're about to grab.
I know what you are. I'm only sorry that you do not. Piece of cake. Piece of cake. Piece of cake. You should really get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Zarya Sigma is a weird comp, but it worked pretty well.
I just wanted to get a Zarya game in. I don't really like Sigma as a main tank. I usually play a Reinhardt with them. Or an Arista.
So yeah, here you're shooting shields, but there's not much else you can do. I like the aggression to the Tracer instead. That was a good team shield. He should have gotten back earlier anyway. That's all fine, I think. Maybe using bubbles a tiny bit too much, but that's whatever. Yeah, like that Genji bubble wasn't necessary. Like, okay, if I'm playing against flankers, which you are, or a Roadhog, which you are, I would be thinking, especially when I'm high energy, which you are, I would be thinking, hey, there is a good chance that my backline or my squishies can die this fight. So, I'm gonna save my team shield to prevent that, okay? Because if this Tracer randomly decides to dive your backline, then I mean, again, this is an enabling thing or a saving them from life thing or death thing. Like, hopefully your teammates should be saying, "Hey, the Tracer's on me. I need peel," and then you can just turn around to them, E, and then continue what you're doing. Or alternatively, you know the Hog is on a flank angle. So chances are he's setting up a flank hog hook play. Yeah, like that. The Tracer's kind of annoying your Mercy. She gets to 1 HP. So, I mean, was she talking? Do you remember?
I don't think like anyone was.
Fair enough. But yeah, that's why coordination is pretty important, right? So here, you see the Roadhog. So I would try, like, if you didn't bubble the Genji here, it would be a good idea to save it, because you see the Roadhog is playing, whoops. You see the Roadhog is playing aggressively. And bubble is a big counter to hook, especially when it's a squishy. And there again, you should, well, ideally the Sigma should coordinate with you and be like, "Hey Zarya, I'm ulting, can you bubble me?" But you win the fight anyway.
This is not your time.
That bubble was unnecessary, but it doesn't really matter since the fight is over. That was unlucky. That was lucky. Like there again. Right. Like, okay, at this point of the game, you're a minute 30 into it, and you know that that Tracer has been harassing your backline this entire time, right? So I would also be thinking, hey, they probably have pulse soon. So again, I'd be thinking in the back of my mind that I should save team shield. Because imagine if the Tracer hit that pulse, right? You'd be 1 down, and you'd probably lose this fight off it. Like, you do turn around, but I assume that's just because you're backing up. I don't really know. But preferably you should turn around and bubble one of your backline. Especially if they get stuck. I mean, you end up getting energy off it, but like I said earlier, you shouldn't just use bubbles to get energy. Like, if somebody was stuck to that bomb, then it would save their life. Which means you'd be less likely to lose the fight. See, now these bubbles are being used too passively, I think. Like, you bubble and then back up. which means that they can just choose to not hit you. This aggression onto the Ash is fine.
Kind of missed a ton of shots, so I just let the Genji go kill him.
That body block is good.
Son, you're gonna burn.
Again, you should be playing up, you have a lot of energy. I mean,
Mhm.
I guess it's not that important since you have Grav, and any poke damage that you do will just farm their support's ultimates, but whatever. Sorry.
Look at the Moira.
Oh, hiccups.
Their Moira was just behind our entire team, right? Genji was losing a 1v1.
Okay. So, that bubble onto the Bob is good. The only problem is that he's not aggroed onto you, he's aggroed onto the Brig. So, when you bubble, you should see that your energy is not going up, and you should see that the bullets are going a little to your right.
We'll move in front of him.
So body blocking a Bob is definitely a good idea, but you need to, if he's not actively shooting you, then you need to get in front of his bullets by either just moving forward or moving into where the bullets are going.
Okay.
So that bubble onto Bob is, I mean, it's okay, but again, it's just for energy because that Bob shoots your Bob.
Yeah.
So it would have been ideal. Well, I guess it isn't really. How much energy did you have before?
I had like
Let's check.
40.
Okay. It's not that important then, I guess. I mean, you could have made the argument that if you were ult tracking, then you should have assumed that they had pulse by now, plus, I don't know what the Rodog's here, I think. So the Rodog might go for a sneaky flank, but
I think he did.
I think it's fine, but you bubbled the boat then. Hmm. So yeah, I guess judging by the number of people who are currently dying, maybe you should try to save team shield for one of your teammates, but that's fine. Probably would have lost anyway. They had ult advantage, I think.
My ultimate is ready. Go. That's more like it. I am even stronger. Never die. Ready for battle.
So there you can play aggro, maybe do an early Grav. That was a nice bubble under the Sigma, because Rodog can hook a Sigma, yeah, and cancel his ultimate, but that's fine. Generally, when I play against a Tracer, I try to get preemptive right clicks in there to try and deal a splash damage if they're blinking. That team shield was unnecessary. Again, I assume you wanted to ult though, right?
I wanted to, but then I saw our Genji, like, I think, I don't remember. I mean, I think I was like going ult.
Yeah, like this again.
I was like about to ult there, but then they all kind of spread apart. And then the Rodog ulted me, and I was like, nah, Genji wouldn't be able to get value off of it.
But again, like the last ult on that ult in third point last round.
Too predictable.
Kinda, yeah. Not much you could do there. He probably would have killed you anyway.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So here your Brig. What does your Brig do there?
Frontline?
Does she just? She actually tries to 1v1 the Roadhog. Okay.
I mean, she's kind of winning that 1v1.
I don't know what you could have done there better. I guess. Let's take another look at that fight. Actually, I want to analyze that, see why you lost. I think it was mainly just the Roadhog.
I mean, I was actually going
Actually,
to.
where does your Sigma go?
Ash died first.
Oh, I was playing in the back too much. Okay. Because Sigma's shift is a big a big counter to
Hoggle.
Hoggle. So maybe if you played together and you all dropped down at the same time, it would have been better. But oh well.
We tried contesting there because we were gonna do Genji grab blade.
A temporary setback.
That bubble's good.
My ultimate graviton surge is ready.
My ultimate is ready.
Too obvious.
There you could have bubbled the Fire Strike as well. For some reason you didn't. But that's fine.
Genji only got one off then.
So here, it's probably not a good idea to bubble the Sigma, right? Because, I mean, well, it is, but he's behind you. And generally, when you're playing Zarya, you want to incorporate your bubble usage as fluidly into the rest of your gameplay as you can. So you shouldn't have to take a break from shooting to turn around and then bubble your Sigma. Which is why you could make the argument that bubbling a Sigma here is not a good idea. Yeah, so he's behind you, and if you stop, then you'd have to look around, decide where your Sigma is, and try and bubble him. I mean, it would definitely help again to prevent him from getting CC'd, but luckily you didn't. And it meant that you could still laser them down while you fought. So yeah, it's about, I don't know, it's about weighing it up, I guess. Deciding whether it's worth taking that 2-3 second break from shooting to calculate where your Sigma is and bubble him, or if it's just safer to keep on shooting them, try and get a pick. So another problem with Sigma Zarya is that can't really hold your ground as easily.
Yeah.
Like you have to drop back a lot. I think that's fine aggression onto the Rhine. Tracking was a bit off though, but
Yeah. I was a bit laggy. Like lagging behind and not laggy in like gameplay. Not internet laggy.
it is so warm. Melting. So yeah, I think the biggest problem with this game is just the team comps.
Yeah.
Because on second point, if you coordinated to drop down at the same time, it would have been better. And on third point, if you had a Reinhardt or a Risa or something, then you could have held your ground easily. That was a nice bubble onto the Ashe there. See, that's the kind of thing you should be looking for. Like when I talked about earlier about peeling for your backline, that's the kind of thing.
Yeah, the Ashe was the person that I was grouped up with. It was the person we played with a bit. He kind of started screaming and he got hooked.
So that's another fine bubble. He doesn't shoot the Sigma, but it's better for the Sigma's life to be safer than it is to get the extra 30-40 energy. In my opinion, at least. So yeah, here you can give it up. I think you try and contest again, but in my opinion, it's just not worth it because you're a Sigma down. Yeah, you decide to back up, but yeah, it's...
I got CC'd.
It's third round, so they're not going to get more time when they cap the objective, and your Sigma's a couple seconds away. So I think giving it up here is fine.
Did you watch the end of it? The game yet? It was sad.
So there again, you could have bubbled the Sigma, but oh well. That grab's fine. Last fight.
It grabbed him off point
Oh.
by accident.
You should have followed up on it though. Like you didn't actually. You just grabbed the floor and then left them to do their own thing, kind of.
Actually, I think it grabbed him. Yeah, that's off point. It's funny, I actually yelled C9 and then they told me I grabbed them off point. I had no idea.
You can't bubble Moira orbs, by the way. Well, you can't get energy from them at least. So there again, if you coordinated with your Sigma, you could have played more aggressive and faced a couple of those swings, but whatever. Is there somebody behind or am I crazy? No, I'm crazy. Fair enough.
Stuck with point duty again.
So yeah, here again, I wouldn't play on the point because you want to take as much space as possible during overtime rounds, just so you can get as much space as possible without going into overtime.
Yeah.
Now that's nice aggression. That's like what I was talking about earlier about forcing them to damage you.
And then we lost two somehow.
But yeah, I think, yeah, their Hog was on the flank. Yeah, so presumably you got a pick. Which again is just a comms issue, I think. Someone could have called it out. Although to be fair, I mean, you can definitely... Unlucky. You can definitely check both doors. You shouldn't always just assume that they're gonna come through the bottom right one.
That was so funny. Literally walked up point blank to the Ash.
And then GG, I think.
Yeah, that's good.
Unlucky. Okay. So I'm gonna get into a custom game real quick. You don't have to join me if you don't want to. I'm just gonna show you some techniques. Wait. Gotta be King's Row. King's Row best map. Okay. So a massive combo, and a really important combo for Zarya players is the right-click melee. Okay. So, I didn't see you use it once. Zarya, the right-click melee is a really good. Is like Zarya's only burst damage combo, right? At 0 energy, it does what, 70 damage, I guess? I don't really know, but it is a lot of damage. And at high energies, you can basically like zap a squishy for a second and then just right-click melee and they're dead. So it's very important to incorporate that into your gameplay. At a couple of times in the VOD, I saw people get kind of low, and you could have bursted them down, but by the time that you, I don't know, like they got healed, and because of the comparatively low damage of the M1, then you didn't manage to kill them in time. But if you hit a right-click melee when they were low, then they would have probably died because of the burst damage. I need to turn you up a bit. So it's very important to know that, I guess.
Okay.
Especially against squishies, which you should generally be prioritizing over tanks and shields. Also, again, about the grabs, right? So, if I'm zapping the enemy team, and I suddenly go like this, then if they have a diva, what is that diva gonna think I'm gonna do?
Grab.
Exactly, right? So, this links into the mind games thing, right? So when you're playing tank, mind games is pretty important, right? So one thing you can do is you zap away, and you flick, or you flick away, you flick somewhere, and then the enemy diva DMs. And then you don't grab, you wait it out. And then as soon as they drop it, you know that you have a, 2-second cooldown before they can DM again, so then you have a free grab opportunity. And that means that it makes it basically impossible for divas to eat your grabs. Same thing with Sigma, to be honest.
Cooldown a lot.
Mm.
I think now it's a second.
Fair enough, but I mean, there's still a cooldown.
It's still a cooldown, yeah.
I also like the 80 spam when I'm in a 1v1, but that's just kind of me. I think, okay. So yeah, generally I think, I'm gonna get my notes up real quick. I think your bubble usage is generally okay, you just need to be more aggressive with your personals and get in their face a bit. So that, as I mentioned, you're forcing them to damage you. You also, if possible, you should always try and coordinate with your team, especially if you're running Ryan Zarya, so that you can enable your teammates. When you're a high energy, like the damage difference between a 100 energy Zarya and say a 60-70 energy Zarya is minimal. So you can afford to lose energy if it means that you have more impactful bubbles, right?
Yeah.
So if they do have flankers or they have a Roadhog and I am high energy, then I'll just be thinking, I should probably save my team shield for if I need to suddenly flick away into my backline and save someone from a pulse bomb or a hook or a charge or a headshot or something. Obviously, if your main tank or your front line gets into like a lot of trouble, then you can save their life instead. So yeah, because you kind of like it's a problem for like basically every single Zarya player, just using bubbles to get energy rather than to actually actively try and help people stay alive and enable them to do damage and kill people. But you did get some nice protective bubbles in there, like against the Hog a couple times, which is perfectly good. So all in all, I think just that tiny bit of practice into when to bubble, who to bubble, and how to bubble, and I guess a bit of tracking practice if you feel like it. I mean, I know there's a bunch of workshop modes where you can practice your tracking and your aiming and stuff. I mean, personally, I don't think my tracking is all that, but I think because I have a good fundamental understanding of who to bubble and how to bubble and all that stuff I just talked about, I think that's why I'm a pretty high SR Zarya, because I know I can protect people pretty easily, even though I'm not like Spree or Defran with my tracking, you know?
Yeah.
Cool. I guess I'll play D.Va for a second and show you a quick thing. I don't usually play D.Va much.
Yeah.
If it's dive, I usually just play main tank. I want to learn ball as well. I'm not the best ball either. Oh well. So, you can end your flight with melee if you didn't know that. This can be very useful if you're initiating a 1v1 or you're initiating a dive. So if I'm trying to shoot somebody in high ground, I'll fly up to them. I'll maybe DM just to try and negate some of their damage. And then when I get up there, I'll melee to stop myself, and I'll just missiles and shoot them down to deal that extra burst damage, right? Because missiles can do a lot of damage. They do a lot of splash damage, and I think you can. I don't know. Can you shoot your missiles and your M1 at the same time? I don't really know. But yeah, if you get
I don't know.
if you get up in their face, or you can even like fly into them using missiles. I know
Yeah,
you can use missiles and DM at the same time. Yeah. So D.Va's pretty good with 1v1ing. So you can just shift into them. You can E and DM and then melee to stop yourself, and then just finish them off with M1, and it works pretty well. Because like with your game on Numbani, I saw you poking down from really far away, which is generally a bad idea. Like you should try and take off angles and high grounds and stuff, just to either whittle down shields or to get like DPS who are out of position or on off angles themselves. I think that's all my notes for D.Va. Just try not to shoot bubbled Zaryas or bubbled Zarya targets, and try to get your bombs up in the air, or to have some momentum into them. Like, don't just ult as soon as you lose mech, unless you're like on a high ground or on a like if you're on top of the payload, for example, because then they can't hide around the payload. Like the bomb that you had when you lost mech on Numbani 3rd, they just hid behind the point. But if you were like if you lost mech on the point, then you probably would have been able to kill at least one, because it would have been much harder for them to hide. So try to get some momentum in there, try to get some height. I know there's a YouTuber out there who used to do a bunch of different D.Va bomb locations to do like flank ones and get them around like corners of buildings and stuff. So I know there's a lot of practice that you can do into that, but that's not really my specialty. I'm sure I can find the YouTuber again if you want to watch the videos, but
yeah,
I don't know. So that's basically all the Zarya and D.Va tips I have. We can move on to the Roadhog VOD if you'd like.
Yep.
Which was King's Row. Roadhog and King's Row. I mean, it worked.
I like Roadhog.
Yeah. Fair enough. So do you remember if your main tank was talking here?
I don't think he was.
Fair enough.
Most of the time, no one talks, but I think this time both of our DPS were talking.
Well,
just tried following up with me.
Your coordination with the halts is good. Orisa Hawk can win a lot of games pretty easily, unless you're against double shield, obviously, because double shield is dumb. Cool.
Most of the time, I'm just waiting for.
Yeah. I mean, you can try and flank sometimes, maybe, like the Zarya's on the flank there, and you could have hooked her there. You could have hooked her earlier, at least.
Yeah.
Also, another little thing, I'll go over it later in a custom game, but you get hooked here, and they use them in Widow 1v1s, but you can, if you turn around and put your head down, it makes your hitbox smaller, or your head box smaller at least. I mean, most people probably aren't going to shoot the head of a Roadhog because his hitbox is already so big, but like,
Yeah.
I guess it would help a bit, right?
I just start like spamming my mouse.
That's just a little thing. Like maybe if you know that the enemy team have a lot of poke DPS or head scan DPS who can headshot you and deal a lot of damage, then it might be a good idea to try and do the lower your head whenever you get hooked or whenever you're trying to engage.
I was gonna try and go for a hook on the Pharah.
I don't know what that Zarya is doing, probably resetting. I would have gone for the fire a little earlier though,
Yeah,
but that's fine. You still win the fight.
in the far really tough.
Balls feeding.
This one's really funny.
Nice. Where'd they nano?
I don't know. That ball is such a feeder.
That was probably just a timing thing.
Yeah.
So that ult was really good. My only note is to not shoot the deflecting Genji. But all in all, that was pretty fine because, yeah, it took him away from the team and stopped him from getting many kills. I don't really know if he got a pick, but
I don't.
he definitely still won the fight, so it's fine. Nice hook on the Roadhog. Probably a tiny bit too late though, because if you were like if it was like a second later, you would have been too far away to hook him. Nice, nice, nice.
I love when they go for it. Raz is right in front of me.
I think your hook mechanics and sensitivity is fine.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't really seen you do too many hooks where it hasn't been helped by Marissa, but you seem fine.
I tried staggering that diva, so I just only punched her.
Oof, I am lagging. What is happening? I'm gonna close some stuff. I'll close this random music video. Oh, I got a PM. I'm so popular. Also, I need to take the second screenshot. So, 1 second. Battle's fine. Maybe a tiny bit too early since you can't see anybody, but...
You're lagging a lot.
I know. It's because I was opening a screenshot, so I kind of messed everything up.
I think I had like 100 frames this game.
Show off.
Or not 100 frames, 100 ping. That was embarrassing. Suits are also easy.
So that's just aim practice, I guess.
Yeah. The Genji.
Oof.
That guy got dragon pretty fast.
It's because you were going against him. Warthog is an ult battery.
Also look at the team comp we're playing.
Okay, unlucky hook, I guess.
No, that's bad.
But yeah, Roadhog, flank Roadhog can be really impactful. You should definitely generally go for it whenever you can if you're not trying to combo with an Orisa or something.
Yeah.
Let's get you back in the fight. Get into position. Join with me.
Our monkey fed more than me.
I require assistance. This was new.
Do you lose this game?
No, we won.
Ah.
Because of our DPS here. Our DPS got like
Cool.
4
So all in all,
kills.
I think that was a pretty fine game. Coordination is fine. Hook accuracy is fine. Just looking down to make your hitbox smaller. Not shooting a deflecting Genji. Maybe try to melee after you like if you hook some. I'm gonna get into a custom game real quick.
The hook, punch, melee.
Yeah.
Shoot, punch.
Also.
Yeah.
So. Oh wait, no, I needed to add in a bot. Okay. So one thing you can do when you hook somebody is to kind of rotate them.
Yeah.
Which is really important, or really helpful and useful if, for
I
example...
watched a Karki video on that.
Fair enough. Like, if you're next to a corner, you can rotate them around the corner and then body block them back so they can't escape. Or you can just rotate them into your team.
Does it break the hook sometimes?
Probably. I don't really know any good examples, but yeah, if you hook somebody, then you can just look and then maybe try and body block them.
Especially if you have like an Orisa shield.
I don't really have any tips for Red Hawk. It's pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, you can shoot and melee and deal more damage. Also for the headbox thing, so I'm gonna just try and recreate what happened to you. So you were stood here, you get hooked in, and if you just do this, like you look away, and you'll just look at the ground, then your hitbox is, your head hitbox is smaller.
Okay.
I mean, it won't make much of a difference since Roadhog is so beefy, but hey, little things, I guess. I think that's everything for Roadhog. Cool. We can look at the Orion VOD now if you want to.
Okay.
I haven't made notes for Orion because I didn't know which game you were on about, because I couldn't import it since it was already in my list, but I didn't know which one was.
It was
Hanamura.
Hanamura. Yeah.
If you want, we can look at my Zarya gameplay afterwards to see.
Oh yeah, it was definitely this one.
Maybe I can show some of the amazing Zarya gameplay in action.
You should watch the May gameplay.
Actually, I'm not gonna make notes. I can just talk about everything.
Actually, I'm curious to see the Widow because the Widow is like insane.
Fire strike's fine. So here I drop my shield and I probably put a few swings in. So here you're just kind of alone, right? You kind of go to point. You're not really shielding anybody. I'm gonna replay on that. Okay, so here you're shielding this, and most of your team is here. So that is no bueno right there. And then here, you would be shielding this when most of your team is here. So you need to play back, or you need to tell your team to play up. Yeah, because like what, 2 people get picked off?
Yeah.
Oh, were they a 2-stack? I didn't notice that. Must have been a DPS duel. That charge is probably fine. You probably could have tried to get out, but suicide
tried
charges
getting
are never a bad idea. In my opinion.
I don't like the charges. Just get so unlucky with them.
Oh, don't look.
To the bubbles.
Did they none of the widow? Nice.
The Widow got a pick with it too.
I think that shielding's pretty okay. I mean, again, you weren't entirely playing with your team, but we went to the point anyway, so it's not that bad.
Look at our Moira's about to get picked through the window.
Oh wait, I can't spec. I have a hotkey on that. Feed a carry. So yeah, again, I try to throw in right clicks when I'm playing against a Tracer because I don't trust my tracking aim to beat moving Tracer very easily. And then for some reason these guys still push in, so I can...
Trevor, please be quiet.
Nice song.
Oh no.
Where we going, mate?
I'm not pushing it anyway.
You're just doing your own thing, I guess.
Trevor, I swear to God, be quiet.
Beautiful.
Don't swear.
I'm ready to rally.
This Widow's actually really good though.
Probably Smurfs or account sharers or something. I think I died there. Yeah, I guess slept. Because somehow the Ana could see me from the window. Okay, so here I'd probably... I would back up. I'd either back up or I'd play around the corner, yeah.
The Ana's just sleeping all the time. Do you think the Widow's an aimbot or just really good?
Oh, we can do some detective work if you'd like. Analyze the
Like-
gameplay.
The Widow is very good.
Okay. So for some reason, when you push in, you don't look to your left, which is probably a bad idea, because what if they have a Mei that you didn't know about? I mean, but yeah, still, I mean, there might be a Widow over here, there might be somebody. I mean, I don't know if you knew that there was nobody there, but I didn't. Fast Shark's good. I'm okay with that. I think your counterpins are fine. I admire the effort. Honestly, not bad. Just watch me for a second. Smiley face. I reactively bubbled within the Tracer dice. What can you do? I didn't know the Rhine was there. Okay, somehow he hits me from that far away. Whatever. Don't look at. Don't look. Nothing happened.
That was the Moira ball that killed you. I swear, if Mercy got picked there, that would have been the funniest thing ever.
Oh, I forgot to go
I think
monkey.
we switched dives here.
We should have stayed Ryan monkey. I think, because then you can face tank and push into them, and I can go on their backline.
I never played Ryan Monkey.
So again, here it's a diva effective range issue, right? You're just shooting people from the other side of the map, and here you're shooting a bubbled Zarya, and you're DMing up Zarya. Like Zarya counters you, right? If you're against a higher energy Zarya, or just a Zarya, you should try to run away. That gravity wasn't looking. If you held DM for like another second, then it probably would have been eaten, but what can you do? Then they're gonna try and stagger you, so you should get back or try to play on the point or something.
I kind of know I was dead there. That was very beautiful spectator.
Thank you.
Wait, there are Reinhardt's there? What?
Probably going for a flank shadow. I'd bubble off the heals here. I don't think he gets killed though. Or maybe he does.
I think he gets killed. I don't remember.
Ah,
Oh,
very
this is
nice.
probably a point. Hmm.
Yeah, their DPS were a big problem. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with a draw from this. So again here, right, I try and do that 1v1 combo, or like the engage combo that I showed, where you just fly into them, melee to cancel to deal that extra 30 damage to them, try and use your... Just throw everything in there, basically. Like, against this Lucio, you just kind of stood still and you're shooting him whenever he peeks, but you can fly into him, or at least fly to the other side of this pillar here and just deal a bunch of burst damage to him and hopefully kill him.
I don't watch micro missiles, I guess.
Bruh. No one wants to talk to you. Hey, I'm napping. Oh, did we take the point? Forgot about that.
Oh yeah, we capped it.
Okay, so here, against the Ranger in overtime, I'd probably just try and fly past him, try and go to point. I mean, it's fair what you're doing, you're kind of just zoning him out, but you could probably try and finish him off there, but...
So great off I go. I mean, I was just trying to make it so you didn't get on. Surprised I
Ooh,
didn't
that
die.
180. So again here, I'd get up in that McCree's face, I'd use missiles, so I'd DM what I can.
I couldn't hit this Lucio.
Nice. I mean, yeah, another thing you can do is just boop him out of his flight path, or his movement path with your jets. Should make him more predictable to hit.
Once we were to losing that by C9.
Shouldn't DM that. Never mind. I wanted to engage, but I saw him go to the mini, so I decided not to. So yeah, again, you barely use micro missiles.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea. You should try and put them in as much as possible, especially when you're trying to burn down one specific hero.
Mm-hmm. Shoot, I just rolled right over my cord.
It's a nice fire strike. Counterpin that. Unlucky.
Yeah, I was a bit slow.
Counterpinning is just reaction time, basically. You can counterpin a Ryan no matter how far away they are from you, or close to you they are. Here I'd probably recharge my shields. Because we have double shield, so you shouldn't really let your shield get too low.
You have the other shields.
You probably could have told me that you... I don't remember if you told me, to be honest, but
I don't really remember
if you
either.
didn't, then you should have told me your shield was low, and then I would have held it up for a bit. How's my shield looking? I don't even see it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's pretty much full.
Yeah, our shields got shredded so fast.
Yeah. I mean, it forced them off of Tracer Widow, at least. So I'm happy with it. Yeah, so generally, you should never, you should, oh wait, no, I don't want to look at this. I flux and miss. You should never let your shield drop. Even if it's at like 10 HP, you should never let it drop, unless you're trying to actively save somebody. Because it's a 4-second cooldown, and as you saw, like, you give off an audio cue, right? So,
Yeah.
when you gave off your audio cue of barrier destroyed, then my guy Retro over here could press Q with ease and kill everybody. Yeah. So generally try not to let that happen.
Probably could trap shield.
So actually I'll ask you about that after. Ignore me. That McCree could die.
You know, one thing I realized though, if like Reinhardt's shield is half in the ground if you're just facing forwards. Like there's a ton of it that's just in the ground. It's kind of weird. So many Reinhardt shatter when they get grabbed. I don't get that.
I never want to play aggressive into a grab just in case. Nice block. See, that's what I mean, right? You left your shield on 100 HP, and you managed to block it. I'd throw a fire strike in there, why not? You know he doesn't have shadow.
I probably should stay up there.
No, yeah, I don't think he would have been able to get back. It's probably fine to drop off. Drop off.
That boost feels bad.
Also here I didn't really need your shield, but that's just a tiny thing because I was just kind of scouting them out, seeing where they were going.
Okay.
But that's whatever. Like here, you could definitely play more aggressive, right? You might have even been able to get an early aggressive shatter in there. Just shatter them on the stairs while they're clumped up. That charge is probably a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
You probably should have died there. Or at least you should have tried to coordinate with my team bubble. I don't remember where I was, but yeah.
Привет!
30 seconds remaining.
See, I'd definitely play more aggressive. Okay. I'll draw some lines. I haven't drawn some lines in a while. I would play right here. I don't know if you can see it. But like I'd play. Here is you. Okay. And when you hold shield, it covers this entire thing. So you cover, so like half of your shield covers the staircase down there. And because what you need, because you haven't used shadow in a while. So what you could do is you play here, you play up, and then whenever you feel like it, you can maybe coordinate with me, coordinate with my team bubble. You push in, you press Q, and then you shatter them all on the stairs down there. Because at the moment you're playing a tiny bit too passive. And it's also the last fight, so there's no reason not to, really.
Oh. Yeah.
Oops. Also, those reactive charges are generally not a good idea unless you get shattered by Orion from one side of the point to another. Because his entire team is with him then. I wanted to grab that, but what can you do?
I wanted to shatter that too. You should spectate our May when we're on defense.
Sure.
Ready for battle.
That was my favorite play by the May ever.
Understandable.
They're Hanzo. Jeez. 2 picks.
So now you're playing a tiny bit too fast. I'd either try and leg it for the point, or just play back around cover and get some healing.
Okay.
Because you played too passive, you let your shield go down. I mean, it's fine, we win the fight, but it's not good. Could be handled better, I guess.
30 seconds remaining.
We're almost out of time. No slacking now.
Don't worry, my friends. I am your
Also, whenever I see a Baptiste wall, I try to stand behind it because Baptiste Fire Strike does 200 damage, which is pretty powerful.
That was their wall.
What is it? Alright then.
Yeah.
Oh, do we not have a Baptiste? No, we don't. No, fair enough.
Wait, no, we do, but I don't think he got ult.
Yeah. Unlucky.
We should have won that fight.
I agree.
Go spectate the May.
F8.
This is beautiful. This is what I call pro gameplay.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, dude. It's not good.
We lost one. I kind of knew we died there, so I just tried getting ult charge.
That was a lot of ult charge. Unlucky.
30 seconds remaining.
Push them back!
Oh yes, the standstill.
Objective is new defense point. Objective B.
So I think it's very important to just throw out ultimates if you get them early. Like worst case scenario, you don't hit anybody, but it doesn't really matter because the enemies still don't have much of an ultimate advantage because you got it so fast.
Okay.
Nice.
I did the thing where I third person peeked it.
Yeah, I wouldn't charge that because you know that McCray's entering, but whatever. I'll probably just throw in a couple swings on the Lucian. Cool. Genji doesn't touch, unlucky. Alright, I'm gonna get into another custom game. How good do you want to be at Reinhardt?
Well, probably really good because I'm gonna have to only play Reinhardt.
Why is that? Are you a
Because
main tank?
everyone insta-keys off tank.
Now,
Every
enough.
single game.
Okay. First thing. Tiny thing. You can charge against walls. Just slide across them. Like I like this rollout on King's Row. It gets you pretty far along. You can just slide against that wall there, and there's a bunch of other ones. Like if you want to go around corners and stuff, or like if you want to not hit a wall, like here, you can just go against the wall and whatever. But anyway. A very important part of Reinhardt's kit is that you can cancel a swing at any point
With the
using
shield.
any of Reinhardt's other abilities. So I can swing in shields, or I can swing in fire strike, or I can swing in charge. And this is incredibly useful, right? Particularly if I'm playing against a Zarya, okay? Because, like I said earlier, right? You should force
Oh, bubble.
as a Zarya, you should play aggressive with your personals, usually, right? So
Mhm.
if I'm a Zarya, I'm going to push in, I'm going to press shift so that they're forced to damage me, and then I'm going to drop back, right? But one thing you can do as Ryan to counter that is you pretend to swing to give the Zarya energy, which baits out that bubble. So again, this links in with the mind games thing, right? Like with gravitons and
Yeah.
eating it. You can bait out a personal bubble by pretending to swing and then shielding, which then completely like wastes their personal. Like they'll probably get shot from other sources, but it's pretty helpful to bait out a nice personal. Another thing is that you can like fire strike and then flick away to bait out a personal sometimes. But keep in mind that not every Zarya player will personal just a fire strike, especially if they're high energy. So it's important to keep that in mind, or else you'll just have wasted a fire strike. Also, corner swinging. So I'm gonna have to get into that's practice range for this. So the way that Reinhardt's aim or Reinhardt's like hammer works is it hits in like an arch, right? And what you can do to exploit that is you can move your camera in order to hit them from further away. So I can't hit this robot from this distance, but if I go to this side and I swing, then I can hit him.
Oh.
Then if I go to this side, I can hit him again. So depending on the direction that you're looking, you should aim further in that direction, right? And that's really important, especially if you're in a 1v1 or you've got a massive shatter and you need to hit as many as possible. You should always not aim at the person you're trying to hit and instead aim to the side that you're swinging from, right? That way you can deal a lot more damage.
I kind of just do insane flicks and I try and hit everyone.
fair enough. I mean, yeah, that does work too. Generally speaking, you also shouldn't. Like, there's a meme about people having to unbind their shift keys, but
Yeah.
it's not always completely necessary. It's just as a general tip, like you should try and charge people the shortest distance that you can.
I have a friend that
So
plays Reinhardt, and he only plays Reinhardt, and I play Zarya with him, and he just charges in. He's like, bubble me, and bubble me instantly dies anyway. It's great.
So, with this robot, for example, I could charge him all the way from here to over there, or I could just like try and get a jumping charge on the side somewhere and
Mhm.
hit a shorter distance charge, because it's important to remember that whenever you charge somebody, you're incredibly vulnerable for the duration of the charge.
Mhm.
Which is why it's usually a big meme, because you can get CC'd or you can get just generally chipped away for the duration of your charge.
Also, what's up with the charge hitboxes?
Sometimes it works like a vacuum, sometimes you're like the opposite of a magnet. I don't
Yeah,
know.
because like if someone jumps into your charge, you're not gonna hit them.
Yeah, it can be a bit weird. Another really important thing, linking back into the cancelling swing, is you can cancel a swing early and then fire strike to do extra damage, extra burst damage, right?
Mhm.
So on this robot, I can swing and then fire strike, but that takes a while. Give me a second to get my cooldowns back. So what I could do here is I can swing. Too early. But yeah, you get the idea. You can cancel it early. You can cancel it as soon as you hit them, as soon as you get the hit markers. And you will deal the damage faster. I'm terrible at this character. So that's also important in a 1v1, or if you hit a big slam and you've got multiple people to hit. And then this can be exploited, I guess, even more. So what you can do is look to the opposite side of the. So
Yeah.
to do a corner swing, a fast swing, you have to look to this side, or like the side that you're swinging from. So I'm swinging right to left, so I look to the right, or to my right. But you can also look to the left, which means that you hit them faster, and that swing fire strike combo is even faster than before.
Mhm.
I don't use that too much though. Also, you can use M1 to use
Fire stream.
to do this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Third-person camera. Also, if you hold M1, drop M2. Wait, no. If you look at somewhere, you hold M1. You keep holding M1. Drop M2. Then you look in the direction that you're facing. So this is important to. This is useful for fire strikes. It's useful for shatters or charges or something. So one
Yeah.
thing you can do is you can look behind you, and then turn and charge, or you can turn and shatter. I don't use this too much. It's usually just used by people who want to like style.
Yeah.
I mean, it can have its uses, I guess. Like if you're in a grav and you're shielding your team from one side, but then you need to suddenly turn around for some other reason, then it's useful for that, because you can turn and then put your shield up faster than it would be to just hopefully faster than it would be to just turn it manually. Yeah, I don't know. That's the general tips for Reinhardt. I think I have. Also, I have a workshop code, which is a pretty useful Reinhardt 1v1. So it's a really difficult bot.
Hardcore 4.2.
Exactly. It's amazing. Leave me alone. So things you can do here is you can do earth shatter blocking, you can do corner swing practice, so like those long distance ones, so you can just do a general duel. So there's a Reinhardt bot, and it's really hard, to be honest.
You're gonna lose.
Yeah, I tend to lose against it, but I mean it's fine, really.
Jeez.
For some reason it's not killing me.
Broken.
Yeah, it is a lot more damage. It is a lot more damage than most things. And you can do earth shatter blocking, which is pretty useful because it's mainly just reaction times though, because there's not there's not much strategy to it. Yeah, you can't really, because it's programmed to shatter at random times, so you can't predict it. You can't.
Usually
play
I
around
do
it.
like some swings to try and bait a shatter, and then some I swing halfway through.
I'm pretty sure it's impossible to hit a shatter against it as well,
Really?
unless you shatter at like the exact same time as it, and you both go on the ground.
Just be fast.
So this is pretty useful, mainly for reaction times. Obviously, if an enemy Ryan goes for like a flank shatter or something, then not much you can do with this. And then you can do corner swings, which is just the extra range. I'm gonna lose again, but
Just kind of.
so yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good it's good practice, I guess.
Let's do some parkour.
Yeah, it is pretty fun. I don't remember which one it is, to be honest. I think it's the Genji one. But yeah, I think that's it. It's the Genji one. Nice. But no. So we have 19 minutes left. We can end now if you want, or we can maybe watch one of my Zarya games from one of the games that we played.
Oh.
Maybe that might be useful to see some of the feedback in practice. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't remember which games I played Zarya on, so I'll just do Nimbani. No, not Nimbani, Hanamura. Why not?
Traveling to Hanamura.
Oh, it's warm.
Ready
Okay,
for
I am F11.
Ready for battle. Defend objective A.
Okay. So I'd bubble the fire strike there, because why not? For some reason the Zen shoots me as well, and then I bubble you to get more aggressive, but you kinda don't, but that's fine. Then I think we try to get the point. I think that was a call for that. For some reason I didn't shift fast enough, to be honest. This isn't my best Zarya game, but oh well.
I heard it. I'm not
Yeah, I try and bubble to save your life there, but you get too much burst damage.
Yeah.
I heard it. Click on this point. Hello.
Oh yeah. It's also really important to remember. For Zarya, the best way to build a graph is right clicks and farming tanks. Specifically Roadhog and Diva, but most of the other tanks work as well. Because as you've seen, whenever I'm not hard engaging, I'm just randomly throwing in right clicks, right? So yeah, that's pretty helpful towards the generation of grabs. And so, like, if you're against a Roadhog or a Diva, then you can get like your entire ult off them because they have so much health and they can basically do nothing against you, alone at least, or they shouldn't be able to. But yeah, this isn't my best Zarya game. I'm not really popping off quite a lot.
I mean, the DPS are really good.
Third dose. I don't know why.
It's also important to throw in right clicks whenever you can't reliably hit anybody. So I try to do that a lot because, as I mentioned earlier, my aim is not always the best. And right clicks can be a really good consistent amount of damage for Yeah, for compensating for the lack of reliable aim that I have. So again, I think I showed myself earlier, but throwing in right clicks against this tracer is basically all I can do because they're around cover and there's not much else. Then I could track and chase down this Ana.
Oh, you should have bubble teamed this thunder.
Then I go for an early grab, but they have trans. What can you do? And I get headshot.
I'm ready to rally.
So I just AD spam the Widow to see how good they are. Turns out they're pretty good. And this is when I get slept.
That feels bad.
I've got you covered. Shield's taking damage. Rally to me.
So there I tried to flick a bubble onto the Hanzo, but I missed because he jumps away. But luckily he doesn't die because he jumps away.
This Widow's really just going for you, isn't he?
That's why I eventually got a monkey because nobody else could deal with him. Here, I reactively bubble because I see the tracer behind me, but it doesn't matter. We've lost the fight anyway. Oh yeah, for some reason I dropped down. Yeah, I see a Moira on the low ground. And I got pinned and ended up dying.
He feels really bad. Wait, that Reinhardt hit you? Okay, that's
He
weird.
probably did the corner, corner swings, long range, you know?
It still looks so far.
That's teamwork.
Diva online.
When the Sombra gets pinned.
I'm on the objective.
Mm.
To my position.
So I jump high ground here because I think the Widow went high ground, but she actually went into spawn, so it doesn't really matter.
You're only gonna go over this Widow's entire game, aren't you?
Pretty much. I can't believe that sleep hit me, but oh well. Then I try to stay in the bubble and get some heals, but
Is there like a glitch with the fire
we're
strike?
dead.
Because sometimes when you Genji deflect it, it goes invisible.
I don't know.
Kinda weird.
EMP charge.
Do you want to learn Monkey as well? We're gonna have to make new
Um,
coaching sessions for the other tanks. Monkey Sigma, Arisa.
I don't play ball really. When
Monkey
I
can
do,
be
it's
pretty
only
fun.
that one map. I only played ball on Lijiang, night market.
Ah. Don't look at this.
Oh no. Oh, every single time she tries going in this.
We're out of time. Attack.
Feeling much better.
Ugh, Sombra's tracking us.
Oh wait, I should probably be viewing me. So I have a really bad primal here, I think. I try to focus down the Ana. I eventually do kill her, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And then I'm
Oh,
pretty
you
sure.
did the punch jump.
Yeah.
How much damage does the jump do in general?
No idea.
I don't think it's much.
But yeah, these are just texts that I haven't gone over because I didn't have any monkey votes.
Yeah.
I think I generate another primal in this fight. I get on point because I see we almost seen that.
We almost landed like 4 times.
Yeah, that DPS were really good. I feel like the Tracer probably generated an entire bomb off me.
Yeah, and there's that bomb. We killed the Sombra.
Oh yeah, I booped both the Sigma and the Lucio off the point and let me cap. That's pretty good. Feels good. We don't really... I don't know. I play Sigma here and up until second round. So I can just skip through that. Nobody likes Sigma. So another round's dead, I can just push up a bit. But I don't for some reason. There we go. So again, that playing aggressive and forcing them to damage you. It's pretty useful for energy generation. Here I didn't know that McCree got back so fast, so I try and chase him down, but he's already gone. And I just try to get some poke damage in. Then I bubble you because I see your half and they're engaging on you. And I save out McCree. But he doesn't. Oh no, he doesn't get saved. Unlucky. And I try to kill one of these guys, but they get healed.
Still can't believe I made through that. Just upsets me.
So I threw in a right click melee combo there onto the McCree, but it didn't really matter because they had beat. Also, I saved my team shield there for, well, one of my backline basically, because I'm gonna replay that actually. So, yeah, so I'm 70 energy before the fight starts. I want to watch this again because I think it's good to show you what I did and why I did it.
Is it? I don't think it is.
So yeah, I can afford to have less energy and more impactful bubbles. So like here, I save team for whoever gets caught in that graph. I help our Ash, then I right click melee this McCree, but he gets beat, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, the Ash dies anyway, but at least it was postponed and I got extra energy from it. Better than them dying immediately, I guess. I don't know. Then I know I can go for the Zarya because they're alone and beat would have run out by now. Then I bubble you because there's a Nano Ryan on you. And I might as well go for this Lucio since he's kind of out of position. That was a really good block, by the way. I don't know if that was intentional.
It was.
Nice.
I kind of did the swing thingy. Try and bait his block.
Look at that fade away right click. Ooh. Very nice. So yeah, I think I handled that pretty well. I mean, in the end, what I did in that fight didn't really matter, but
Yeah.
it's better than just letting my Ash die early, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's kind of good to see these tactics being placed in game rather than me just talking about them. So yeah, I probably shouldn't have used Team Bubble there. I could have probably saved our soldier. I didn't know that the Genji was going to ults. So yeah, I guess it's important to just sometimes throw in grav whenever you have it. If you think it can be big.
Get behind me.
So yeah, like here you could hold them at the door, you could play a bit more aggressive, but that's fine. And they throw in a grab from Narnia. Somehow I don't kill the McCree there apparently. You probably shouldn't have charged that.
Yeah.
I can get the hands over there since he's alone. And yeah, again, like, I throw in right clicks against this Lucio because I know I'm not going to be able to track a red Lucio. Hit the right click melee on the Zarya. Steal the kill before anybody else can.
Get behind me.
Привет!
30 seconds remaining.
Just a little longer. Turn them back.
Whoops. I will go under do not disturb. Okay. Honestly, I can't really be bothered watching the rest of this. We can definitely schedule a new, another another coaching event if you feel like you want to learn Monkey and Sigma. And up until then, you should definitely try and incorporate the tactics that I have told you about. I have recorded this in OBS, but it'll probably take a day or two before I get it up because it is really hot in England right now and my computer generates a lot of heat and I had to put it on for like 3 hours for it to upload, so I might have to wait for it to cool down first. But yeah, I think fundamentally your tanks are pretty good, especially your Roadhog. There's just tiny little tweaks that you can work on to make them better. And yeah, I think that's everything.